This next topic we are going to discuss is important because there are so many ways to invest in property and there are so many ways to do things in life in general. But most people we find don't seem to know their kind of direction or know what to do, which makes investing a little haphazard. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about MAP. And it's your stairway to financial freedom. So what do I mean by this? You need to treat your investing as a business, and that means having clarity. And without having that clarity, you may just keep chasing that shiny penny. Have you ever done that in your life? But when you do have a map with directions, you can focus. So maybe you've heard the saying, where focus goes, energy flows. By having this map to financial freedom, you can then develop a strategy later on to help you get there. And of course, it depends on your circumstances, your individual objectives, and we want to set ourselves big goals, which we'll explain later. So we're going to be talking about financial freedom. But first of all, I just want to ask you, have you heard of rich people going bankrupt? I'm sure you've heard of one or two stories. Perhaps footballers going bankrupt, or perhaps even people who've just won the lottery and gone bankrupt soon after that. But why is that? Because some of them do not have the financial intelligence. So, who wants to be a millionaire? Do you want to be living like a millionaire? What does that mean? Let's say, for example, you have £1 million or dollars or equivalent currencies in your bank account and you've got 2% interest rates. That's £20,000 a year, which is around about 1,667 per calendar month. Doesn't sound a great deal of the lifestyle of being a millionaire, but that's what you get. And that's assuming the interest rate is around 2%. And that's assuming that you don't overspend that £20,000. If you want to live more like a millionaire and you overspend, then that £1,000,000 in your bank account goes down over time, which means you get less. And people don't realize that or forget it. So what's really, really important? It's not about how much you have in a savings account, it's about cash flow. So what is financial freedom and how does it affect cash flow? Well, first of all, financial freedom in the sense is that you have more money coming in than what you spend. It's that simple. And in most cases, we talk about cash flow. And what you mean by cash flow is that we have enough money coming in or income coming in per month compared to what we spend or expenditure per calendar month. So what does this look like for you? Well, we know lots of people who we say, what's your financial freedom point? And they say, oh, I don't know. Or maybe they just pluck a number from thin air. They don't really know. And lots of people just talk and talk, but don't really know what it is. And they just talk about and don't really know what their breaking point is. And this has to be reviewed over time because trust me, when you are making more money, you will just naturally spend more money for no justified reason apart from you just got more money. So financial freedom could actually be closer than you think. So we're going to go through a quick exercise to see what this looks like for you. So in this course you have materials that you can download, and one item is the financial freedom exercise. So the purpose of this is to calculate all your monthly outgoings. So when you open that up, you'll find that it lists some general items, and these are the typical things you see that people spend on a monthly basis. There are some things out there that you spend, but maybe on an annual basis, and we'll come on to that shortly. But let's say, for example, typical things you find is your mortgage, maybe your food or shopping bills, maybe some taxes or your utilities such as electrics, gas and water. Those kind of things, you kind of roughly know what you're going to be spending per month. Now, there's other things, for example, which does vary, but not as much. Maybe they've got your car fuel, maybe insurances you pay every single month, or maybe you can pay some subscriptions to maybe TV or internet, etc., mobile phones or holidays, whatever it is. Go through that list and write down how much you spend per calendar month, or at least make a good estimate of that. Now, the things which you don't pay on a monthly basis, you pay maybe once, twice, 3 or 4 times, or maybe more on an annual basis. One thing could be you pay on an annual basis just once is your MOT, or maybe your maintenance, your car maintenance. Maybe you don't pay your insurance on a monthly basis. Maybe you pay that on an annual basis. So all you need to do is calculate how much you spend per year and divide that by 12. And that will calculate roughly how much you are spending per month on that item. Now, birthdays is very, very surprising. When I've actually gone through this exercise with family members and other people, they're shocked by how much money they spend on birthday presents. Just imagine your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your children, maybe your aunties, your uncles, your nephews, etc. And that's just for birthdays. What about maybe for Christmas time? It soon adds up. So a lot of people are spending over £1,000, maybe 1,500. It racks up quite a lot. So whatever it is, estimate that and divide that by 12, and then you'll see how much you're paying roughly on a monthly basis. And actually, I'd encourage you to get access to your bank account to help you fill out this exercise, because when you look at your bank account statements, you will see things that you've just forgotten that you spent on. So, disposable income. So this next point is, it helps you define what kind of lifestyle that you are aiming for. And so with disposable income, you will need some money coming in just to break even, or maybe have some leftover money for maybe the bad days. Things happen. So what kind of lifestyle is it? Is the occasional holiday? Maybe you want a bigger holiday. You may want several holidays or other things. Now, it's a false belief that people just want to live off just your income, but please, 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 just don't live off your income completely, because some people don't pay off their properties or mortgages. And it's okay to acquire the assets, these properties, but I encourage you to at some point start consolidation. And what I mean by that is consolidating or paying down your debts. So we'll talk about it later on, but in the lifestyle of a property investor, you acquire properties, then you pay down debts. You acquire more properties, you pay down debts. And that depends on your level of comfort of debt. So let's say, for example, we've talked about lottery winners. They accrue all this wealth quite quickly, but they don't know how to keep it and just spend it. So when the bad times happen, they're stuck. So now that in the previous exercise you've defined your monthly amount that you need just to break even, you'll also need to determine what is your extra that you want per calendar month. Do you want an extra 1,000 or 1,500 or £2,000 extra disposable income above and beyond what you normally spend? And that's your passive income needed. Is your financial security, your break-even point, plus your financial freedom amount. But in terms of the financial freedom amount, there's two levels, or at least two levels we can think about. There's being comfortable, your comfortable lifestyle, and there's also your lifestyle of abundance, which we all want to have. So you've defined your break-even point, your total, but how much extra? So in this example, let's say for example, we just want a comfortable lifestyle to cover us in the bad days and to go on the occasional holiday. That might be an extra £1,000 per month, which means you can spend an additional £12,000 per year. So that's above and beyond your break-even point. So let's just add those two up. So if you say, for example, your expenditure per month is £1,398.45, then extra £1,000 or dollars or whatever on top is $2,398.45. But let's say, for example, you want more than that. Maybe you want $3,000 to spend extra per month. Then just add that to your break-even point. In this case, your break-even is 1,398. Add your 3,000, gives you 4,398.45. Very simple. So now you've got a number for your break-even point, your total. You've got your magic total for your comfortable lifestyle, and you've got your magic total for a lifestyle of abundance. So keep a note of the amounts that you need. Okay, so if you're unsure about how much you'd like for your lifestyle of abundance, I'd recommend that you go back to your dream board. If you haven't done your dream board, then I suggest that you stop this web class right now, go back to the previous exercise and do your dream board. Can you remember what's on your dream board? If not, no, go back and do it. And once you come out, then I will help you complete your lifestyle of abundance magic total. So how much do you think you are worth? And I suggest you aim higher as well. So let's go through this. Let's develop your plan according to these totals. So your personalized plan, and again it depends on down to your circumstances, but now that you know how much money you need to break even, and you know how much you want for a comfortable lifestyle, and you know how much you want for a lifestyle of abundance, you need to set your goal. And you need to understand how much time you can actually commit to this, because building a business is a lot of climbing and a lot of struggle. Entrepreneurs usually work long hours, late nights and maybe early mornings, and of course there has to be a point where you draw the line and go to bed, of course, but you need to spend some extra time to achieve your dreams. So you need to define when you want this by, and the definition of, you could want it in months, you could define it in terms of years if you wanted to, but whatever it is, you need to define that. So let's say in this example that in this case you want to go a little bit bigger and say, I want £2,000 extra per month disposable income, but I want to have that money coming in, £2,000 per month in 12 months time. I want to be in that situation in 12 months time. So I'd encourage you to break it down in terms of quarters. There's quite an even number you can get. So if you break down £2,000 in 12 months, that breaks down to around about an additional £500 every 3 months. And that's how you do it. Just work yourself back and put these figures on your stairway to heaven. So remember to set yourself big, hairy goals. Because why do we do that? Because when you set yourself big, hairy goals, let's do it the other way around. A lot of people are disappointed when even when they don't hit their low goals. So by setting yourself big goals, and even if you don't hit those big goals, you'll probably have achieved way more than just setting yourself low goals and low expectations. And of course, you need to set yourself a stairway to heaven. So you're going to do this, and you're going to do the stairway to heaven exercise. So on your course material, you should have access to the stairway to heaven exercise. Fill this in based on what your goals are. So you need to understand your starting point. It may be that you have more than just zero extra income from your passive income. You may already have investments from stocks, shares, bonds, books, music, royalties. But whatever your starting point is, you need to know where your start is, you need to know where your end is per cash flow per calendar month, and just work through that per quarter. Now, don't worry. Once you set this and once you've gone through the course, you don't hit this. The point is at least you've got one, and if you don't hit it, at least review this, at least on an annual basis, and find out why didn't you hit it. Was it that your goals were not big enough? Was it that you didn't spend enough time? Maybe you need to spend more time, but at least you'll be able to reflect back on this year on year. So your actions. Fill out the financial freedom exercise. So once you've gone through your monthly expenditure, you'll know how much you need to break even. You'll know how much you need for a comfortable life. You will know how much you need extra for a lifestyle of abundance, and calculate how many months you want to achieve that in, and then fill out the stairway to heaven exercise like we have. So I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next web class.